Contractors are inevitably faced with the decision of lease versus purchase of equipment. And for most contractors, this is a significant decision because it has such a major impact to their financial statements. If a contractor chooses to finance the acquisition of equipment or leases under a capital lease, it results in essentially adding a long-term asset to their balance sheet that's offset by both a current and a long-term liability. The current liability representing the principal portion of the debt that's going to be paid off within the next 12 months. So the fact that we're adding a current liability but not adding a current asset means that there's a negative impact to both the working capital and the current ratio of that contractor. And those two ratios are critical to sureties, who are the main users of a contractor's financial statements. And those two ratios are used to help determine the bonding capacity available to contractors. And so the negative impact of that decision could actually result in the loss of work for the contractor because they don't have the bonding capacity to take on additional work. Fortunately, the contractor does have the option of having the lease structured as an operating lease, which really has no impact to the balance sheet, as the monthly payments are just expensed as incurred. So we recently had a contractor who had faced with a similar decision: 10-year-old piece of equipment, do we lease or do we go out and finance and purchase the equipment? So what they did is they went out and got proposals for both sides, came and sat down with us. We helped them determine the balance sheet impact of the decision, and they basically from that determined that the hit to the working capital and the current ratio was unacceptable, and therefore they were able to structure on the lease or focus on the lease structure to make sure it met the operating lease requirements, and therefore there was no impact to their balance sheet. So really what all this means is a contractor has to be proactive in regards to this decision. They need to assess the financial statement impact prior to it being made, which is probably the right time to reach out to their CRI engagement team, where we can help them analyze that impact, and we can also review the draft lease agreements to help them determine that the lease is going to qualify for whatever accounting treatment they desire.